I'm ready.
Hello and welcome to the 118th episode of Sutton Impact Family Style. I'm Jason.
And I'm Bill. We have a special guest tonight, Philicia Douglas. Philicia,
Hi.
how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm excited. I'm a big fan of the show.
Well, awesome. We're glad to have you on. And I think everybody's probably seen the clip of you and your team on ESPN.
Yes. My phone blew up before I even had a chance to see it. So I think it had something like 3.5 million views or something like that.
I know it's crazy. So walk us through that. Walk us through that moment.
Well, it starts off earlier in the week, right? Like we always want to be prepared. I work with Mike Stanfield and Brian Ross, and they were talking a little bit about how they got the first pick with AD, right? So just in case something like that happened again, they tried to prepare us in the beginning of the week to be, stay late, watch the lottery. And so I think we all did not anticipate that coming. It was something like a 6% chance that we would get the first pick. So we kind of like were there, but in the beginning of it, we were just like, it's probably not going to happen. And then it did. Right. So I think it was that moment that you saw in that clip was very authentic, very real.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
So okay, after that moment, how long before the phone started ringing?
Immediately. And it's so bizarre, right? You hear that, hey, we want to be here unless the phone ring, and to wait for the phone to ring. And it was literally instantaneous. Like we had to run back to the phones. I think not even 2 minutes after the announcement, I was already making a sale for one of my reps, right? Because everybody was on the phone. So yeah, it was instantaneous. We were there. I didn't leave until like 12:30 that day.
Wow. And was the rest of the week going on?
Oh, it's still going on. It's not over.
So can we ask you how many tickets you sold so far this week?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, so far something around 35. I can't be exact, but something around 35 to 4,000 FSEs, something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it's somewhere around those numbers. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Insane. Never seen it before. I don't know how many times I'll be part of a moment like that, but those guys deserved it. I just joined the team maybe 3.5 weeks ago. But they some of them been there for years, right? Since AD. And for something like this to happen to them, they've worked really hard and they've been extremely gritty. And it was just a huge moment for us.
Wow. It was so amazing to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's crazy.
Insane.
Well, he's probably the most exciting player since LeBron James, like the player that we've known about for so long. And it seems like he's the total package.
Yeah, like this is.
I mean, no offense to anybody else in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was the guy that had the national attention. He's got all the Instagram, and he's just,
Yeah.
Well, Jason and I always talk.
Go ahead.
Jason and I always talk conspiracy theory, Philicia. So the conspiracy theory is that the NBA was sending a message to the teams that tanked.
Oh, how so?
Saying don't tank.
Well, that you didn't tank and Memphis didn't tank, and you picked 1 and 2. And the teams that tanked picked. What did the Knicks get, Jason? 4?
Knicks got 3. Lakers got 4.
So the Knicks, the Cavs, and the Suns were 3, 5, and 6.
I think this year they did the lottery a little bit differently. I'm not quite sure, but I've been hearing that it's different from how it's been done in the past. Have you heard about that?
And that goes with our conspiracy theory.
Well, hey, I'm all on board. I love it.
Not that we never think that there was anything written.
Right.
We're just saying that it looked kind of crazy.
Right. I mean, could be coincidental, but that makes sense.
Well, I was really excited to see my good friend Dave Griffin up there getting the draft pick.
Great.
He's a really good guy. I first knew Dave in Phoenix, and when he was with the Suns, and he always did a good job wherever he's been. So I'm excited for him.
He said he would come in and make an immediate impact, and he wasn't lying. Like, he's been, from the second he was part of the organization, there's been so many changes. I think we got a change today, actually. We just acquired a GM. So it's just been.
Yeah, you hired out.
Who was it, Jay?
So what's Griff's title?
Former Blue Devil. And I think he had a couple of NBA as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know you guys hired the head of one of the Phoenix Suns is head of medical staff too. So you have your own MBAs. You're not sharing with the anymore, which is awesome.
Correct. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, and
it seems like to separate themselves from the Saints a little bit and be their own individual team, which is great.
Correct. Yep.
Well, we're excited to come out to the game this year.
I very much hope that you both will. Jay, you're in New Orleans, so you have been feeling the impact almost just as much as me.
I would say a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more of a buzz because this is definitely a town. But I mean, they've got a really exciting team, and I think depending on what they do with obviously AD, whether he stays and they get a bunch of picks for him or a couple of players, like. I think the city is ready, and I think Zion Williams is again, I love AD as a physical player, but I don't think he has anywhere near the personality of Zion Williams either, too. I think he can be a really good ambassador for New Orleans basketball.
Agreed.
And really sell it.
Yep.
So, Philicia, you can have a meet the pick party or anything?
Yeah. We're going to be having, the draft party is always an iconic party every year, right? So we'll be having something like that. We might change it up a little bit, giving the circumstances. But yeah, absolutely, we will be having that. So, this is the time to get on board for us,
Mm-hmm. It should be fun.
Of course, you know it. You've
had an interesting year. So you've gone from the Dolphins to the AAF,
correct,
to the Pelicans. So how's that trip?
My gosh, it's only been 9 months. It's been insane. The AAF was a tragedy for me, but I learned a ton. I wouldn't take back anything, right? The Dolphins, as always, they helped me grow my career from its infancy and appreciative of all they've done. And now I'm here with a great organization. I'm learning from amazing people. And I think I wouldn't trade anything, Dr. Sutton. It's been a wild ride. And I think that's how it should be sometimes, right? You learn a lot.
Yeah, you learn a lot and learn a lot.
Well,
wow, I'm just so we sat there. It was so exciting to see that and imagine what that was like, because I was with the team when they moved from Charlotte to New Orleans, and I was hiring the sales staff at that time, and we didn't even have computers. All we had was phone books for the first 3 months.
Right,
it was crazy, but it was so welcoming, and it was such a good time. It's such a good city. I've always been a big fan of the market.
Small city, right? It's a small city, but it can really do a lot. And they really gather and they become its own. I don't know how to explain it really, Jay. You could probably explain it better than I can. But they really rally here.
They do. And I was at a wedding on Saturday in New York, and they just talked about how this seemed like one of the most prideful cities they've ever been to. And it's really true. People they embrace all forms of New Orleans culture, and they're just all in. So hopefully they go all in on the Pelicans.
Hopefully, yes.
Give them the audience.
Agreed, yes.
And like I said, I think it definitely seems like, so.
Yep. Exciting times for sure.
Anything else you want to say, Philicia? You want to tell everybody to buy tickets? Whatever you want to say.
If you're not buying tickets right now, you're already behind the boat. Call in, get some tickets, come out to some games. This year, I feel like it's going to be a change for New Orleans. It's not just going to be about the Saints anymore. We love the Saints, don't get me wrong, but I think the Pelicans are also going to give the town something to be excited about. And so definitely call in. If anything, you can ask for me, and I'll make sure you're in good hands for this year because we want to make sure we take care of you. We're as you saw the video, I still have that excitement now and really excited. I wish the season would start tomorrow, really excited. So yeah, that's nothing much more to say than that, Dr. Sutton.
Well, I look forward to seeing you in the world.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you too. You got tickets on me for sure. All right.
Well, thank you.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, Jay?
Yes.
We got a lot of feedback on the three of us.
We did. Hopefully that'll clean up in post, and if not, we apologize. But I think you should be able to hear her very clearly. You and I had a little bit of feedback in there for some reason. I don't know if
maybe next time we have three, maybe we better do it from your office.
Yeah.
See if that works better.
I think so. But let's talk about everybody, but I think there's a lot for people to get out of that first part anyway. I think you're so good. You can hear her pretty clear. So.
Oh, for sure. Well, let's talk. Let's continue the NBA conversation.
Yes. Well,
so I think I went out on a limb and I said Portland in the finals.
Yes.
Me and Charles Barkley. Well, me and Charles Barkley are wrong.
Very much.
I don't know if we're going to see Game 5. The way the Warriors are playing, particularly Draymond Green, he has just taken it up another level.
He has. And I know that Iguodala might, they're already going to be missing KD for Game 4. Iguodala might miss Game 4 as well. So, we'll have to see what Portland has in the tank. If they have that, we don't want to get swept and just go all out. But it may not matter the way Golden State, the big three are playing in Golden State.
That's a 17-point comeback and an 18-point comeback on consecutive games.
Yeah.
And I have to say, when Draymond Green, now I know he lost like 20 pounds before the playoffs.
He did.
And he's been pushing up at breakneck speed, playing a point forward or whatever you want to call it. And he has been really forcing the action, and his passing has been spot on. Been really, really impressed with his passing.
He put up a triple-double the other day. He was always, the engine that made that team go. Obviously, Steph probably never gets nearly enough credit, I guess, on some level.
Right.
He gets spurts of good credit, and then other times he's just kind of forgotten. But, they always gave Draymond was like the engine.
But he's moving the ball and forcing the action, and Steph and Klay Thompson are getting much better shots than they did in the Houston series.
Yeah. And I think obviously moving into a new building next year, if you're Golden State, you got to be feeling pretty good right now, even if you lose KD. You can re-sign.
It's been fun to watch.
You still got this team plus whoever you can add in the offseason. And for a team that's technically down 2 starters, if you count Boogie Cousins, they've just been rolling.
Yeah. And you could argue these last 3 games, they've looked better than they've looked all year.
Yeah. And
I know you're excited about the Milwaukee-Toronto series. What are your thoughts there?
Well, it's tied up at 88 in the fourth quarter, and the Greek Freak did airball a free throw a few minutes ago. But he's my favorite player to watch in the NBA. I don't know if Zion will change that going back to the beginning, but I just love watching that whole team. Looks like they're really well coached. They're just a well-oiled machine, and I think Golden State Milwaukee will be an incredibly interesting finals.
It will definitely be a matchup of 2 teams that play a lot of guys and play in a flow. and everybody's involved. And it would be a really interesting series to watch of really quality team basketball without the one-on-one and the multiple dribbles and the backing down.
And I honestly think that, either Golden State team, whether it's the KD Golden State team or the KD-less Golden State team, it's still that'd be a great series. Because the way, and again, I like that, the teams that are left are teams that move the ball, take open shots, and I think Draymond Green has already trolled the Rockets about, mid-range jumpers are okay.
Yeah, I think he's made a lot of points.
Yeah, well, it's weird. And you watch the Rockets, I understand don't take a step inside the 3-point line, because that does seem like a really long, stupid 2-point shot to take. But you watch them and they give up wide open 15-footers. They give up drives to the basket where they kick it out to the guy for 3, and it's just go up with the ball. What your math says, a good shot is a good shot. The open shot is the good shot.
Good shot's a good shot. That's exactly right. Yeah, it could be. There's going to be, if the interesting thing is, if Milwaukee sweeps and Golden State sweeps, they're going to have 10 days off.
Yeah.
And that seems crazy to me. And I know you've got to anticipate, series going longer, but you really want to have two teams with a 10-day layoff, and you really want to have a public that's kind of maybe snoozing on the series after 10 days with no NBA.
Yeah, the NBA, especially these last few years, does a really good job of just staying in the conversation no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's enough star power. I think Milwaukee, between Giannis and if you have KD, Clay, Steph, Draymond, I think those guys will do enough talking and say enough to keep that series interesting and exciting and keep them,
Yeah, I think. Well, you're right for sure.
And in that series,
so I watched a little bit of golf.
Okay.
And I watched an interview with Bruce Koepka this morning, and he said there's no way. They asked if he was feeling any pressure. If they asked him if there was any way he doesn't win, he said absolutely no way, and he did everything he could today to give it away. He was 4 over par today,
and you said that,
and nobody's ever won a golf tournament being 4 over par or worse on the final round. But he had such a big lead. He's an incredible golfer, and he's big and he's strong, and he made some unbelievable shots on a really tough golf course. He brought it to its knees. And he was still, even going 4 over today, he was still 8 under. So, it's pretty incredible.
It is pretty incredible.
So he still won by 2 strokes, even being 4 over. So I don't know what
if you're the Pelicans, AD is saying he wants a trade. Are there any trades you like of the ones you've seen?
Well, what have you heard? What are the trades you've heard?
Well, we still have the Laker poo-poo du jour platter, which would be the 4th pick and then any number of their young players. But you have Brandon Ingram with the blood clot issue and inconsistency, Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart. And most people are saying it's a 1-player draft, at most a 3-player draft, and they're offering you the 4th pick.
I don't make that trade.
No. I still don't see any way that Kyrie goes back to the Celtics. It just seems like there's too much bad blood there.
And I wouldn't want to take Kyrie on my team. I wouldn't want Kyrie either.
No, but apparently Danny Ainge thinks that he can bring back KD and AD, and then you would get, probably the Memphis pick, a couple of those late-round Celtics picks this year, and then some combination of Tatum, Marcus Smart, and a other player. I actually like the Knicks offer, not just because I'm a Knicks fan, but the Knicks offer the 3rd pick, which would probably be RJ Barrett, who wasn't bad this year. He's good friends with Zion, Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson, both Dallas picks that they have coming. I think Mitchell Robinson playing the 5, along with Zion. He's good friends with Kevin Knox, who showed a lot of promise. RJ Barrett, Drew Holiday.
Well, I probably like that trade better than any of the other trades.
Yeah. Because those seem to be the most prevalent, and unless there's a team, on the fringes we don't know about that could do something. I know Toronto technically has a play to be made, and Denver potentially. But I actually kind of like the next pick, and I almost like it for the Pelicans too. Like you start out with R.J. Barrett and R.J. Zion and just roll with it. Start out fresh, no more drama. If he's destined to leave. Like I know on the one hand you say Zion and AD together would be incredible to watch. They could run some big pick and rolls and inside out game would be pretty incredible, but and hope that he pulls a Paul George. I love Zion.
If you traded him and got the number 3 pick and at least one other starter and maybe a 6th man,
and a couple future picks.
A couple future picks. That stabilizes the franchise in New Orleans.
I sort of feel like you have enough excitement over Zion right now that don't let this season be about AD and where AD's going. Get rid of him now. Get the best. Call up all the other GMs and be like,
get rid of him now, or get him to commit.
Yeah,
now.
And it sounds like he wore that shirt, which was just in bad taste.
Yeah,
and it sounds like from what I've heard, the scuttlebutt around here is that he's still asking to be out. And like I said, if he is, I say just let him go. Start over. You have the most exciting player in basketball probably since LeBron. Like as hyped as AD and Greg Oden and KD were, like I think Zion is the most hyped. Even if you're not a huge basketball fan, Zion Williamson. You've seen the dunks. He's got tons of Instagram followers. He's like the perfect millennial basketball player.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm excited for New Orleans, and we'll definitely have to go to games when I come down there, and you'll have to talk to Philicia about going to some games.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like Milwaukee is not going to sweep, as they are down 5 with a minute to play.
Okay, so Toronto's defending the home turf.
Yeah.
See if they can do it again. But, that was a series I thought was going to be a great series. How was Kawhi played? Because I haven't watched any of it tonight.
Kawhi's been really solid. Like I said, Giannis, it's down to 2 points now. Antetokounmpo is having an off night. He's only got 12 points, 19 rebounds, 5 assists. He's 5 of 14, which is a low game for him.
Very much so.
Kawhi Leonard's got 26.8 rebounds, 5 assists on 17 shots. So, I mean, but Toronto's done a good job of throwing a bunch of bodies and not letting the Greek Freak take over too much. Making time he touches the ball and sort of trying to frustrate him as much as possible.
Yeah, you got to make him work. You got to make him work on both ends of the floor and make him work hard.
And Toronto's got some long, lean guys that can get done. They're a little more suited for that than other teams are.
And they've got a great home court advantage too.
They do. I'm only going to get 30 seconds today, but I think unfortunately it looks like we might have another Boston championship this century, as they are waiting in the finals already for whoever they're going to play, and they've been playing really.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to win too,
and
which even makes the Lightning thing sting even worse.
It does.
Well, you know what, Jason? I got a lot of food moments this week.
Awesome.
A lot of food moments.
Let's go.
So I had dinner with my brother, your uncle, and a nice dinner with him, but not enough so that it was a great food moment. It was a good dinner with my brother. I wouldn't say it was a great food moment.
Okay.
I went to a place called in San Jose called Piatti, Piatti, and I love asparagus. And when I was in Italy, I had asparagus risotto, and they were having a special asparagus menu. So I had asparagus risotto when I was in San Jose, and it was outstanding.
Okay.
Really, really, really good. Then I went to Phoenix, and I went to Blanco, which I've been to several times before. It's an outstanding Mexican restaurant. The carne asada fajitas are off the chain. Then the next night I went to Texas, which is Texaz, which is a kind of a dive bar / restaurant.
Okay.
But one of their specialties is smoked prime rib. And it's delicious. I mean, it's just like a smoked steak is what it is, a smoked ribeye. So, I mean, it was outstanding.
That sounds delicious.
And then last night, I went out to dinner in Dunedin with Dave Wright and his wife, and we both had surf and turf fra diavolo.
Oh.
And it was, I'm going to tell you, it was a filet, a lobster tail, a scallop, and a shrimp, and jumbo lump crab meat in a fra diavolo sauce. And I'd never had it before, and it was unbelievable. I would say that was my best meal of the week.
You love your fra diavolo, no question.
I really do. And this was done really well, where it was spicy without being ridiculous.
That's really the key.
It is the key. I mean, you want it to have a bite, but you don't want the bite to overpower the food.
No, definitely not.
And so every one of those things, and the scallop is a very mild taste. And the lobster tail is not overpowering either, but it tasted really good with the fra diavolo. And it was all over angel hair. And you know how much you love angel hair.
I think it's the only pasta. I don't really need any other pasta, just angel hair. It's my thing. I love it.
And then for dessert, we went to that Strahan's ice cream in Dunedin. And I've told you about that. I had a scoop of black cherry and a scoop of chocolate, and I had a dip of hot fudge on top. And it was the quintessential evening. It was outstanding.
Yes, and if anybody,
there's a lot of food moments in 1 week.
Their hot fudge is as good as any hot fudge I've had in the world, and I'm a big hot fudge person.
So, I mean, that was a lot of food moments in 1 week.
I would say so.
And I met the 49ers team dog.
Team dog.
They have a therapy dog for the players.
Oh,
it's a French bulldog. And it hangs around. It lives with the players in the locker room, and then the player relations guy takes it home. It's got like a big overstuffed pillow that it lays around on until the players come in, and it kind of wanders around with the players. And if you're on injured reserve or something like that, the dog hangs out with you. It's a really good idea, right?
I like that. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, it's the first team I've seen that has it. And the other thing I liked is there was a photo at the 49ers of all the players that were college graduates in their college T-shirts.
Okay.
So it's a real cool looking picture. I'll send it to you. It's a real cool looking photograph.
Sounds like it.
So I've actually had a great week. So that's what I've done.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
I've eaten my way across the country.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yep. Did you have any food or any entertainment?
I had an entertainment moment. It's an interesting one. Okay. I watched Under the Silver Lake, which is the third film. I think his most famous film at this point is probably It Follows, which was a horror movie a few years ago that got people really excited. Under the Silver Lake,
I can't remember that.
Yeah, is a very bizarre film. It stars Andrew Garfield, who was not the current Spider-Man, but the Spider-Man before Tom Holland was Spider-Man. And it's like a weird mystery sort of wrapped up in it's got a little noir moments, but it's also got some very bizarre moments. It's got like a 6.7 on IMDb, which is probably exactly where it needs to be. The first hour is as good of a movie as you're going to watch this year. Like, it's a fantastic hour. You're riveted. You're trying to figure out the clues, the mystery. And like a lot of things, once you have to land the plane, it goes a little bit off the rails. And it was one of those movies that had me thinking. I watched it with my friend, and she and I, we automatically deep dove. Like, okay, what is going on here? Because we need to figure this out and see what people thought about it. And but again, it's worth a watch. Like, it's beautifully shot, and it's well acted. I don't think it quite gets to where it wants to go, if that makes any sense. And then my other entertainment moment is a short one, and you can watch it. It's a 4-minute YouTube clip. Colin Jost and Michael Che, from a time to time, they do this bit at the end of the news where they have each other read jokes they've never read before. And that's the funniest SNL ever is, I think, in the last decade. Like, Michael Che making Colin Jost read these terrible racist jokes is, and very, it's watching them both just sort of put each other in uncomfortable positions. Just as you can watch their faces as they're reading the teleprompter. It's pretty outstanding. It's really fun.
I'm sending you a picture of my surf and turf fra diavolo.
Okay.
I think you'd like it. I mean, it was really good. I know you're not that crazy about some of the seafood, but the steak that way, I think you'd like the steak that way.
Yeah. I think I'd get into that for sure.
Okay, then this week, Mom and I are going to the Big 12 baseball championships Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in Oklahoma City. And I'm going to my new favorite barbecue place in Oklahoma City called Bedlam Barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really, really good. I had a big combo plate last time I was there. And the interesting thing was, Mom and I were there, every first responder on the face of the earth was eating there. Every cop, every state trooper, every Army guy. There were more guns in that building than anywhere I've been ever.
Oh.
It was the safest place to eat, and it was really good.
Nice.
So we're going to go there for sure.
Well, I have plans on Wednesday night. I'm going to Moscow's finally.
Oh,
I am.
That's supposed to be really good. I've never been there.
Just as a little preview for people for next week. Moscow's is supposedly like it's a New Orleans Italian restaurant that has, a history of like mafia connections, but it's a single page menu and they only have about 8 things on the menu.
And where is it in New Orleans?
It's
not in New Orleans. Right?
Where is it? It's off US time.
It's outside of New Orleans.
It's technically in New Orleans, but it's off Highway 90 West, and it's kind of obscure, like it's middle of nowhere, sort of. And but
it's got a great reputation.
And if you look on Yelp, it looks like the food is just pretty amazing. And a lot of things, they have like shrimp Mosca and chicken Mosca, so it's like their own, their own recipes. And like I said, it looks like a very simple little place, very little decoration on the wall, and just a 1-page menu. And it says soup, chef soup. So whatever that is. So it's not,
Well, why don't you send me some pictures of that and I'll tweet them out.
I will do that for sure.
And then next week, I'm thinking about having Corey Bernstein from Minor League Baseball on the show. It's because Minor League Baseball is kicking off. They've done a lot of really interesting promotions. And I think I'm going to ask Corey if he'd like to do the show with us.
I think that sounds outstanding.
Yeah, so we'll try and do that. But I hope everybody enjoyed our guest of Philicia tonight and got caught up in Pelican fever.
Indeed. And I'm going to do my best to get rid of a couple of those audio hiccups in the beginning, but please continue listening because we come on after about 12 minutes and the audio should be fine after that. And in the beginning, just listen to Philicia because she's very interesting, has a lot of great things to say. And you'll hear a little echo, I think, when you and I talk, but other than that, you should be fine. And you should be able to listen to the whole show and enjoy it. So,
and if you're in New Orleans, please go see Philicia, get some tickets to go see the Pelicans.
And Zion Williamson.
Exactly.
So again, rate us and love us on iTunes, support us on Patreon, and send us questions. We love extra topics for the show, especially in these next few weeks where the NBA winds down, hockey winds down, and we just have baseball. So, you have some questions. We'd love to talk about some other stuff too.
All right. Everybody have a great week.